Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Red Bears PrepNet on Channel 14, the Preppers Channel. I am your net control. This is Red Bear. We also have our host, Montana Jim, here with us as well. Just a couple quick announcements really fast here. For any questions, comments, or any ideas for the net, we do have an email address that is prepnetch14@gmail.com. Again, that is prepnetch14@gmail.com. Let me give a short break here. We also have a YouTube channel where Jim loads all of our nets, as well as he throws in some expanded presentations that goes deeper into the subjects and that we dive into with prepping, as well as answering questions a little bit better. He does have some diagrams and bullet points, things of that nature, explaining everything. Strongly recommend you to check that out. If you go to YouTube and search the @ sign, like in an email address, at prepnet-talk2me, again, the @ sign at prepnet-talk2me, you can find that YouTube channel. Please go check that out, and that'll also help you get caught up if you're new tonight. One more short pause. Once again, I'd like to welcome everybody to the net. We'll take everybody one caller at a time and get everybody registered. So the first person that would like to register, please go ahead.
Donna from Montana checking in.
Welcome, Donna. Glad to have you here, dear. Do we have anybody else who would like to check in for the net? Please go ahead.
Hey, Red Bear. Ryan from Indiana. Just sitting back listening.
Copy that, Ryan. Glad to have you here, boss. Thank you very much. We'll put you down as monitoring. Welcome in, though. Next person that would like to register for the net, please go ahead.
Robert, eh?
Hey, Robert. Welcome in. Welcome in. What state are you in, sir?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Copy that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next person would like to register for the net. Please go ahead. Okay, we'll check back in later, see if we have anybody else that would like to register. At this time, Jim, if you're ready, I'll go ahead and pass the baton over to you, sir.
Okay, Red Bear, good deal. And hello, everybody who's out there. Registries and non-registerers, however that is. Anyway, let's get going to the net. All about communications, part 4. This one's going to be about communication protocols. Tonight, we're going to dive into communication protocols, and we'll cover what communication protocols are, military communication protocols, police and fire communication protocols, and radio communication protocols. What is plain text? And whether we should use codes in radio communications. Now, this session is structured for audio-only delivery, so visualize what you hear and build a mental model in your head. Great. So what are communication operating protocols? Communication operating protocols are agreed upon rules for how people talk over the radio system. They exist for one reason: clarity under stress. When emotions rise and conditions deteriorate, protocols keep communication clean, predictable, and efficient. Protocols define who speaks first, how to request traffic, how to identify yourself, how to perform or confirm receipt, how to escalate priority traffic, and how to end a transmission. Break. Without protocol, a radio net turns into noise. With protocol, it becomes an organized signal. Think of protocol as traffic lanes on a highway. Without lanes, everyone crashes into everyone else, or at least when I'm driving. Now, let's look at some common communication protocols. Military communication protocols. Military radio communication is built on precision and brevity. The core characteristics, easy for me to say, strict chain of command, structured call signs, brevity, phonetic alphabet usage, authentication procedures, and radio discipline enforcement. Great. Examples include over, I'm finished speaking and expect a reply. Out, I'm finished speaking and do not expect a reply. Roger, I have received and understand. Say again, repeat your last transmission. I say again, I am repeating this. Military nets prioritize brevity and clarity over casual tone. Emotion is removed, information is concise, and silence is respected. Great. Now to communication or fire and police communication protocols. Public safety communications prioritize speed and interoperability. Their characteristics include dispatch-controlled nets, unit identification numbers, status codes, priority traffic designation, and clear channel requests during emergencies. Historically, many agencies use 10 codes, such as 10-4, acknowledged, 10-20, location, 10-33, emergency traffic. However, after major multi-agency incidents, many departments shifted toward plain language to improve cross-agency understanding. This includes what happened after 9/11. Great. Today, many agencies say Unit 12 responding to 5th and Main for a 2-vehicle accident. Direct, clear, and universal. Ham radio communication protocols. Amateur radio protocols emphasize identification, courtesy, and regulatory compliance. The core elements include FCC-required call sign identification, net control authority during organized nets, tactical call signs during events, directed versus open nets, and priority and emergency brake procedures. Great. Example structure. Quote, net control, this is Kilo Alpha 7 Bravo Charlie for check-in. Or tactical, shelter 1 to net control. CAM protocol balances structure with volunteer culture. It is disciplined but conversational when appropriate. What is plain text? Plain text means speaking in normal, clear language without coded shortcuts. Example, instead of saying 1020, you say, what's your location? Plain text reduces confusion. It improves interoperability. It prevents understanding between agencies, volunteers, and mutual aid groups. Plain text does not mean careless. It means understandable. Right. Should we use code? This depends on the purpose. Advantages of code: brevity, operational shorthand, and tradition within trained teams. The disadvantages: confusion across groups, false sense of security, and incompatibility during mutual aid. An important principle here: codes are not encrypted. Anyone who knows the code can understand it. If operational security is required, true encryption or alternate methods must be used. For most preparedness, community, or amateur operations, plain text with disciplined brevity is superior. Right? Now, my communication protocol recommendation, based on those principles, here is a practical protocol used by our local volunteer fire departments. When we contact other units, we use the format, "Hey you, this is me." Unit being called first, then the unit calling. Example, Engine 6, this is LBC Brush 2. This way, everyone listening knows who is making the call and to whom. Great. Now, when information is sent or instructions are given, you should do a readback to confirm the message was received correctly and to prevent location errors, incorrect assignments, or misunderstood tactics. Example, LBC Brush 2, this is command. Do structure protection on the house to your north. The correct readback should be, command, this is LBC Brush 2, copy, structure protection on house to our north, received and executing. This allows errors to be identified and corrected immediately. If the readback was correct, the response should be LBC Brush 2 command affirmative. You should work out your own protocol for quick, error-free comms and practice it regularly so it becomes automatic under stress. Great. Let's quickly summarize the key areas we covered. Communication protocols exist to create order under pressure. Military communication emphasizes discipline and brevity. Police and fire communications prioritize clarity and rapid dispatch control. Ham radio blends regulation with structured volunteer nets. Plain text improves interoperability, as demonstrated in the example exchange. Code should be used carefully and intentionally. Clear communications saves time. Clear communications saves resources. And ultimately, clear communications can save lives. Break. Please watch the expanded presentation on our YouTube channel for a better understanding and more information on this topic at youtube.com/@prepnet-talk2me. I have also created a YouTube-only presentation on radio antennas. The video can better give you information on that topic than we can cover here over the radio. Please look for 08E-ECOM Part 5. Now, next week, we'll start covering the different communication modes you can use with radios. If you have any questions about what we have discussed here tonight or anything about prepping, please ask during the roundtable or send your question to prepnetch14@gmail.com and enter question in the subject line. With that, I'll turn it back to Net Control.
Thanks a lot, Jim. I really appreciate all the work you do for preparing everything for us here. Thank you very, very much, sir. So, yeah, we'll do a quick check here. Do we have anybody else who would like to register? And if you're monitoring and would like to register, just let us know you want to monitor, and we'll mark you down as such. That will not be a problem. If you would like to register, please go ahead and call now.
Please check in Keith from Louisiana.
Mr. Keith from Louisiana, welcome in, sir. Glad to have you here, brother. We got you down. Really glad to have you here. Okay, do we have anybody else that would like to register at this time? Please go ahead. Okay, we'll check in periodically here for a little while, see if we have any other latecomers. Welcome in, though, Keith. Welcome in, brother. Glad to have you here. We're going to go ahead and start with Donna in Montana. Hey, Donna, before we get into the topic, I got to know, did you get your GMRS license yet?
No, I have not. Jim sent me a link to a YouTube video that explains all the steps, but I just haven't taken the time yet to do it.
All right. We'll poke the bear then. I'm going to be taking my exam for my general license this Wednesday, so maybe by next Sunday we'll both have a new license title on our hands here. So, do you have any questions or comments on tonight's topic, Donna?
My only comment is that for our communications, meaning like our community in an emergency, I honestly don't think that codes, the 10 codes, would be a good idea unless everyone in the group got together and decided it was a good idea. I think it would be too confusing.
You know that I have to agree with you on that 100%. So when you get your group of people together that you're going to be building a communication structure with, you're going to notice there's different levels of education when it comes to actually operating a radio. And a lot of that is going to be just your verbalization, your wording, and whatnot. So if you want to get complicated codes out there with people, is that really going to work? So, just set up simple little things. For example, hey, everybody meet up down at the shack. Everybody knows where the shack is, so everybody knows where they're going. Instead of, hey, meet over at QZ or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything complicated unless you've got people that are really educated in radio. I agree with that, Donna. Thank you. Did you have any other questions or comments tonight, Donna?
Nope, not at this point. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on down the list to Robert in Wisconsin. Robert, do you have any questions or comments tonight? Go ahead, boss. The floor is yours.
Just pretty good information to know what kind of stuff you have to say.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Yeah, Jim works really hard putting all this information together. So, yes, definitely. Do you have any questions or any other comments tonight, Robert?
No, I don't got no.
Well, thanks for being here with us anyways, Robert. We're glad you're here. Keith in Louisiana. Oh, brother, it's been a while. How much of the net have you caught tonight, sir? The floor is yours.
Well, I caught probably about 10 minutes of Jim talking. I'm not exactly sure what the title of the net is. Could you inform me on that real quick, please?
We are currently going through a series all about communications, and we're in part 4, and we're looking at protocols. So we're looking at different things like the way the military runs their communications, the way the police do, ham operators. Jim was talking a little bit about different codes and all various forms of radio use that we've mentioned here. So we're just kind of looking everything over, and we're asking, should we use codes in our radio communications and our protocol? If so, what? How strict do we want to be? So that's kind of a quick little rundown for you there, Keith.
All right, thank you, man. Well, it all depends on what you want to achieve within your group. I mean, using these codes, it's used for faster communications. Maybe you want to use codes where somebody else don't understand what you're talking about. You don't have to use the same codes that your police use or whatever. You can make your own up if you have a group, it's entirely up to you. But I think it's a great idea. And I just gotta say this, you guys run a great net, and Jim is so professional, man. I love listening to him. Do his part of the net. It's just great. It's unfortunate that I don't have the time to be here every week, and I wish I did. Uh, because Jim sure never misses my nets, and I appreciate that, Jim. But anyway, y'all doing a great job, man. And I appreciate you guys for doing what y'all doing. And with that being said, I'm gonna send it back to net control.
Hey, Keith, we're glad that you make it when you do get a chance to make it. You know that, brother. So we're always glad you're here. So definitely. And thanks for your input on the codes there. So yeah. Um if you I do believe if you lay things out right and everybody's got a copy of the protocols, then maybe you could pull off the codes. And again, we need to realize, when are we going to be using these codes? It's going to be in a high stress situation. So we're going to want to have very, very simple codes that we have to use if we're going to use codes. So, and maybe, you know, screw up the wording a little bit on purpose so it makes it hard for people to actually pick up on what you're saying. So, but anyways, with that, do we have anybody else that would like to register for the net tonight? Please go ahead. Okay, well, Jim, I'm going to throw it back at you for any thoughts, questions, or comments that you have on what everybody's discussed tonight.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, just got a few here, and some for clarification and such. And by the way, Keith, it's 65 degrees here, so spring finally arrived. Anyway, as Donna said, codes probably are not your best thing unless security is a reason. When we're dealing with prepping, you're going to have people of different levels. Some may never have ever used a radio before in their life. I would not encourage you to deliberately have codes, because that's going to make things harder for them. They're going to get frustrated, etc. We all have codes. In ham, we have codes. We have Q codes. And actually, they started back in the early 1900s when ham radio came about, and it was all you could do. You had no voice. It was CW, which we'll get in our future nets. And so to make things short and quick, we use 3-letter Q codes, like QTH is your location. But everybody knows that. But if you get somebody on there that doesn't, they're not going to understand what that means. So I really recommend don't use codes. Break. Now, one of the things, if you haven't listened to all of our comms series, we talked about you don't just have one communication plan. You have to have many to fit different situations. So some of them say your security type situations, codes could be very useful. But again, you need to get together with your complete group to figure out, are we going to use codes? If we are, what are we going to use, etc. And yeah, everybody has a copy of what the codes are. So there's no things. But when the communications we're talking about is things have turned bad, your stress level is through the roof, and you really need to have clear, concise communication. So that's what we tried to present today. Again, I'll beat the poor dead horse. Actually, I think we're on the horse's brother's cousin right about now, is go to our YouTube channel and get caught up on all this stuff and watch those expanded presentations, because they might make a little more sense than me just babbling on about here. We'll throw it back to Red Bear.
All right, all right. We'll do one last quick call to see if we have anybody else who would like to register for the Net Fast. Please go ahead. Okay, well then we'll just go ahead and move on into the roundtable. Do we have any other questions, comments about anything tonight? Please go ahead.
I just want to say that thanks to TC, we are now getting started to embark on our tallow soap making adventure. Thanks, TC, if you're out there anywhere.
Yeah, Donna, I think that was a pretty good one, and we're eventually going to be getting into that as well. We haven't quite yet. We've had a lot going on in the radio world lately, so that's been taking our time up, unfortunately. So, any other thoughts, questions, or comments tonight? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a comment, Red Bear. I think that people that are into prepping, I think you really, really do need to have comms, to learn comms. Get as familiar as you can with radio. And this is a good start. These POCs. The more that you play around with radio, the more you're gonna learn, and the better you're gonna be whenever you really need to use it. So my suggestion is just make sure that you spend a lot of time playing radio, and try to learn as much as you can. And GMRS, you don't have to take a test. That's a great place to start. Well, PLC really is a good place to start, but moving out, you don't want to just restrict yourself just to PLC. Is what I'm trying to say. There, you want to be able to at least be able to monitor what's going on around your area, and that's using GMRS and ham radio. So that's just something to think about. Back to net control.
Thanks a lot, Keith. And I gotta agree. I mean, the POC radio, this community, this family, talk to me. It's amazing. I've seen and heard a lot of things on these radios, and people are definitely there in support of each other. So that's awesome. And it's pretty much all over the world, not just all over here, America. So that's a big plus. But I gotta agree with you, Keith. I would recommend other forms of communication as well. Look into GMRS. Look into ham radio. A person here who swore he would never get into ham radio. Now that I'm there, I'm seeing the potentials, and I recommend ham radio definitely. Other forms, Meshtastic, which is a short range texting kind of thing that me and Keith actually got into at one point together. I'm going to give a short break here. So yeah, there's many, many, many ways to be able to communicate. Do we have any other comments out there tonight or questions? Please go ahead.
Hey, Red Bear TC from South Louisiana. Just checking in. I just remembered the prep minute was starting about 2 minutes ago, and now I realize I'm a little late. Could you round me up on what we're talking about today?
Hey, TC, we got you registered, buddy. Welcome in, welcome in. Better late than never, I always say. So we're looking at communications, the protocols, basically setting up, our way of communicating in emergencies and things like that. So we looked at the way the military does it with their structure on the radio, as well as the police, ham radio, things of that nature. We're talking a little bit and questioning, do we or do we not need to set up codes? Like 10-4, for example, or Roger, things like that. So But that's kind of basically what we got going on. If you've got any questions or comments, DC, go ahead, throw them out there, man.
No, I don't have anything to say tonight. Thanks for catching me up on that. I'll have to go check out the video. So, glad to be here.
Yes, sir, TC. And we actually have somebody else here in the net that's in Louisiana as well. His name is Keith. So I don't know if you guys want to talk real quick and get an idea where each other's at.
Hey TC, I've heard you on here before, but I'm not sure where in Louisiana you're at, but I'm all the way down South Louisiana, in a town called Patterson, Louisiana. Um, I'm right off of the Gulf. Uh, I guess I'm not sure if you know where that's at. I mean, where are you from in Louisiana?
Yeah, I have a slight idea where that's at, but I'm over closer to Lake Charles and Jeff Davis Parish, near Jennings. It's nice to meet you. We're gonna let him go on with the net. Thank you for letting me say hi to him right there. Yeah, Patterson. I think I know where that's at.
Yeah, Roger. I'm gonna be east of Lake Charles. Uh, I'm almost pretty much dead center on the south along the coastline of Louisiana. I'm over here by Morgan City. You might have heard Morgan City, but anyway, it's nice to meet you, and I'm gonna send it back to net control.
Oh yeah, I know where Morgan City's at. All right, back to net control.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, DC. That's pretty cool that we were able to get you guys talking on here a little bit. So you guys are both good friends, so why not, right? Anyways, Jim, gonna give one last shout at you here to see if you have any more comments or thoughts on tonight, and maybe do a little early wrap up.
Okay, copy that, Red Bear. And God, I almost gave my ham call. Keith, see what you went and did to me? Get used to the POC side. Yeah, I got to agree with Keith, and that's sort of what we're trying to do here on this. Is you can't rely on one. And again, these POC radios are great until the internet goes down, or the Talk2Me server goes down, or the cell towers go down. So you have to have multiple types of communication, and we cover that in our first three or four segments. And we're going to be covering the different ways you can communicate, like what we're doing now, CW, digital modes, and things of that nature. That just to get you thinking about, what other ways could I communicate if I absolutely have to. And so that's the whole point. Again, we're not telling you exactly what you need to do. We're just trying to bring up all these things so you can start thinking about it yourself. And thanks, TC, for wanting to go watch the video, which everybody should do, and watch all those back videos to get caught up on all the different topics that we've talked about. Okay, my commercial's over with. Back to Red Bear.
Well, before we fully come back to me, Jim, I'm going to ask you one more time. You were talking about the expanded presentations there. You've got a special one on antennas. Can you give us that episode number again really quick? Because I believe that's going to be a very, 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 very important video for us to go check out.
Sure, yeah. It's under the expanded presentations. It should be named 08E-ECOM Part 5, or PT, the abbreviation for it. It's about antennas. Gets a little technical. I decided not to do it over the air because there's a lot of visuals involved that will make it make more sense. And antennas are very important. Keith will turn around and verify that 1,000%. And I've heard things on the radio that make me shudder a little, and I don't want people putting antennas on things that are not right, because you can literally burn your radio up, and it will not be efficient. So I would highly recommend that you go and watch that, and maybe have a little bit better idea of, you can have a garbage radio with a good antenna is better than a super expensive radio with a bad antenna. So that's sort of what that's about, and hopefully that does answer your question there, Red Bear.
Yes, it actually does. So, yeah, I wanted to bring that up again just because, like you said, you can have a trash radio, but a very good antenna. And again, the definition of a very good antenna is not a very expensive antenna by any means. You could build your own antenna. One of the biggest antennas that ham radio operators really love, it's called a Yagi antenna. And there's people out there that make them all the time. They're very, very, very good antennas. So, yeah, definitely go check that video out. Thank you very much, Jim. Do we have any last questions, comments, or concerns about the net tonight? Please go ahead.
Just curious, are there going to be any more, guest appearances with anything to talk about on PrepNet anytime soon?
Hey, Jim, I'll let you head that one up since you're handling the email there.
Okay, yeah, TC, not so far. Nobody sent anything wanting to give a presentation. So if you come up with anything else, and I don't know if you heard Donna a little bit ago, she was wanting to thank you, because we're going to actually start creating, we're going to do our own tallow soap thing. Did a lot of research into it, and it's a lot different than what people think, especially what it can do for you and such. And it got a bad rep, but so if you want to come up with another one, but yeah, as of now, I've not had anybody email, and let me break here just in case people don't know what I'm talking about. A few weeks ago, we had TC as a guest presenter give a presentation on how to make tallow soap. And so we'd like to do that if we can. Everybody has really good information out there. So if you've got a little thing that you've done and you go, I'd like to present that and let people know, hey, they could do X, whatever it happens to be, and want to give a little presentation, we'll turn around and devote one of the nets to doing that. And I'll put together a little short video, sort of explaining what happened, and if you have any links or anything, to further of what you're talking about, or to point out things that you would suggest to get, we would do that. So again, if anybody is out there and says, they haven't covered this, how about I could give a little presentation, send that information to us at our email address at prepnetch14@gmail.com, and we'll get that thing going, and we'll get you scheduled, and you can get out there and be part of giving the presentation and sharing with the community.
All right, yeah. Thank you for telling everybody that, but I still haven't thought of something. I've been thinking, but still nothing, and I'm not going to stop thinking. I was just wondering if anybody sent an email yet, because I'd definitely like to prioritize tuning into that one.
No, that sounds good. And, again, like, it doesn't have to be about what we're talking about now. I mean, when you brought your thing up, we were talking about electricity. And except for maybe rendering the tallow or heating things up, that had nothing to do with electricity. And again, there's so many facets of prepping, that we still have a bunch to cover. When we get through with this one about communications in another 4 episodes, we're going to hit the water preparedness. So there's just many, many things that we still need to do, and many, many, many different topics we have already covered. So I'll push again, go on the website and look at all those. They're 6 to 9 minutes long, so it's not going to take a pile of time out of your day to go take a quick look. And again, there's additional information that we don't present here because it just doesn't work over the air. But thanks a lot, TC, and keep thinking. That was a good one.
And for I will. Back to you, net control.
I definitely got to agree, TC. Thank you very much for that. That was a very, very good net. We were all highly impressed with how you presented the information. And, yeah, that was very, very good information to walk away with. So thank you very much. Well, everybody really appreciated that. All right. Keith, why don't you go ahead and announce your net real quick for any ham operators that might be sitting in the background.
All right, I'll do that. Yeah, for all you ham radio operators, licensed operators, I do have a net on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It's on Echolink, and our room is the Whiskey 5 Bravo Mike Charlie Dash Romeo. That's Whiskey 5 Bravo Mike Charlie Dash Romeo. Node number 507010. I say again, 507010. And it's just a basic rack 2 net. It's just a place for us to hang out on Thursday evenings and just kind of talk about our week and just kind of unwind, get ready for the weekend. And it's a good net. We have a nice group of people, very, very educated ham radio operators on that net, man. You need to find out something. Come there and ask your question. They got people that know all sorts of things. And if you want to have a good time, come on over. Check us out. It's called the Smarts Net. It's Sierra Mike Alpha Romeo Tango Sierra Smarts. And we'll be looking for you there. Being that said, we'll send it back to net control.
Hey, thanks a lot, Keith. Really appreciate that. I've been to his nets before, guys. He does a really good job. I really enjoy him, and I wish I could get to more of your nets. They're just a little bit late for me, though, Keith. And Jim will probably verify. Like you said, he comes to every one of your nets. So, yeah, his nets are really fun, guys. So, any last thoughts, comments, or questions tonight? Please go ahead. Okay, Jim, we'll flip it back to you for one last call, and then we'll wrap her up.
Okay, the only thing I would say is exactly how we run this net is a communication protocol. Net control controls who talks and things of that nature, etc. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about these protocols. Works very well. People aren't talking over each other. We all know, what the deal is. So this is sort of a good starting example of, why you need to figure out what your communication protocol, what you're going to implement. Anyway, that's all I got for now.
Thanks a lot, Jim, and I'd like to thank everybody that registered. Maybe next week, if you're somebody who's been sitting back monitoring, maybe next week you go ahead and register with us as well. We do appreciate that. But for everybody that did register, thank you for joining the net tonight. Hopefully you have a great rest of your weekend as well as a good start to your week this coming week. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you for joining the net tonight. 73. We'll turn the channel back over to regular operation.